Anyone who tries to stand between them should first measure the strength of that bond. People think love is only about soft words. It is not. Love is also about loyalty. And a loyal person stands like a mountain when it comes to protecting what matters. I do not want to fight anyone. I do not want to harm anyone. But I want to say one thing clearly. If you came to create distance between us, first understand how strong our trust is. If you came to spread misunderstandings, first understand how deep our faith in each other is. And if you came to separate us, first understand that true love is not easy to break. I have seen many things in life. I have seen people change. I have seen faces change. I have seen promises break. But one thing has never changed: my loyalty. And when a person stands firm in loyalty, no force in the world can make them bow. So today I am not speaking to the whole world. I am speaking only to those who enjoy interfering in other people's relationships. Build your own life, chase your own dreams, create your own future, but do not try to come between two people who genuinely care for each other. Because some bonds are not created by people, they are created by destiny, and what destiny brings together cannot be broken by the opinions of others. So today I stand calm with my faith, with my love, and with my promise, repeating one sentence in my heart: let me see who comes between us. There is something people never understand about me. I can forgive disrespect directed at me. I can ignore criticism. I can walk away from arguments. I can remain silent when people doubt me. But when someone deliberately tries to damage a relationship that I have protected with honesty and loyalty, something changes inside me. Not because I am possessive, not because I want control, but because I respect commitment. And I believe that anything built on truth deserves to be defended. I remember a time when everything seemed peaceful. The conversations were easy. The trust was strong. The future felt clear. For a while, it felt as if nothing could shake what we had. Then slowly, almost unnoticed, certain people started appearing around us. At first they seemed harmless. They smiled, they offered advice, they acted supportive, they pretended to care. But I have learned something about life. Not every smile carries good intentions. Not every helping hand is sincere. Not every person who stands beside you wants to see you succeed. Some people are uncomfortable when they see loyalty. Some people are disturbed when they see two people protecting each other. Some people cannot build something meaningful themselves, so they spend their energy trying to damage what others have built. I started noticing small things, unnecessary comments, subtle suggestions, words designed to create confusion, questions designed to create doubt, opinions that were never asked for. At first I ignored it because I refused to live my life suspicious of everyone, but eventually a pattern became impossible to ignore. The goal was obvious. Someone wanted distance where there had once been trust. Someone wanted uncertainty where there had once been confidence. Someone wanted division where there had once been unity. That realization made me angry. Not reckless anger, focused anger. The kind of anger that reminds you exactly what matters. The kind of anger that pushes you to protect what is valuable. That night, I sat alone, thinking about everything, and I asked myself one question. Why do people interfere in things that do not belong to them? Why is it so difficult for some people to mind their own path? Then I realized something. Because loyalty is rare, and rare things attract attention. The stronger a bond becomes, the more certain people want to test it, the brighter a light shines. The more it attracts those who want to extinguish it. That truth changed my perspective. I stopped worrying about the people trying to come between us. Instead, I focused on becoming stronger, emotionally stronger, mentally stronger, spiritually stronger. Because strength is not about shouting louder than everyone else. Strength is about remaining steady when others are trying to shake you. Strength is about protecting your values when people are encouraging you to abandon them. Strength is about standing firm when walking away would be easier. From that day forward, I made a promise to myself. I would never allow outside voices to become louder than the truth I already knew. I would never allow rumors to replace reality. I would never allow temporary confusion to destroy permanent loyalty. And most importantly, I would never allow fear to make decisions for me. People often underestimate determination. They think determination only applies to careers, to business, to success, to money, but determination matters in relationships too. Loyalty requires determination. Trust requires determination. Commitment requires determination. Every meaningful connection requires people who refuse to quit when challenges arrive. That is what many people fail to understand. Love is not proven when everything is easy. Love is proven when outside pressure appears. Love is proven when people try to divide you. Love is proven when staying loyal becomes difficult. Anyone can stay when circumstances are perfect. But loyalty reveals itself when circumstances become complicated. As I reflected on everything, one sentence kept repeating in my mind. Let me see who comes between us. Not because I was looking for conflict, but because I was no longer afraid of it. If someone wanted to test my patience, let them try. If someone wanted to challenge my loyalty, let them try. If someone wanted to create distance, let them try. Because at the end of the day, truth has a strength that lies can never possess. And loyalty has a power that manipulation can never defeat. That night, I slept peacefully. Not because the problems disappeared, but because my confidence returned. I finally understood that not every challenge is meant to destroy you. Some challenges reveal who you really are. And what I discovered was simple. My loyalty was stronger than their interference. My commitment was stronger than their opinions. And my faith was stronger than their negativity. The game had changed. I was no longer reacting. I was ready. And somewhere deep inside, I knew this story was far from over. The following weeks revealed people's true faces. It always happens that way. Time exposes what words try to hide. People can pretend for a while, but eventually their intentions become visible. I watched carefully, not with hatred, not with revenge, but with awareness, and what I saw confirmed everything. The people who claimed to care were often the same people creating problems. The people who pretended to support us were often the same people spreading doubts. The people who spoke about loyalty were often the least loyal of all. For a moment, I felt disappointed. Not because I lost faith in myself, but because I expected better from them. Then I remembered an important lesson. Expecting loyalty from disloyal people only creates unnecessary pain. You cannot expect honesty from someone committed to deception. You cannot expect respect from someone who enjoys disrespecting others. And you cannot expect maturity from people who thrive on drama. That realization freed me. I stopped expecting anything from them. Instead, I focused on what I could control: my character, my actions, my decisions, my loyalty, my future, because those things belong to me and nobody can take them away. One evening, I stood looking at the city skyline. The lights stretched endlessly into the distance. Cars moved through the streets below. People rushed toward their destinations. Everyone was fighting a battle of their own. And suddenly, I understood something. Life is too short to spend it worrying about people who want to see you fail. Life is too valuable to waste on negativity. Every minute spent thinking about your enemies is a minute stolen from your dreams. Every moment spent defending yourself against nonsense is a moment that could have been invested in growth. That realization transformed my anger. It no longer felt heavy. It became fuel. Fuel for discipline, fuel for focus, fuel for improvement. Instead of arguing, I worked harder. Instead of complaining, I became stronger. Instead of seeking revenge, I pursued excellence, because success speaks a language that critics cannot silence, and achievement creates answers that require no explanation. As months passed, something interesting happened. The people who tried to interfere began losing influence, not because I fought them, not because I exposed them, but because truth naturally survives. Falsehood requires constant maintenance. Truth stands on its own. Lies need support. Truth does not. Manipulation needs strategy. Honesty does not. Pretending requires effort. Authenticity does not. That is why genuine relationships endure. They are built on foundations that do not collapse under pressure. Looking back now, I almost feel grateful for those challenges. They revealed who deserved a place in my life and who did not. They strengthened my confidence. They deepened my understanding. They reminded me that loyalty is not weakness. Loyalty is strength, real strength. The kind of strength that remains calm when others become chaotic. The kind of strength that stays focused when others become distracted. The kind of strength that continues moving forward regardless of obstacles. Today, when I hear rumors, I smile. When I hear criticism, I smile. When I hear negativity, I smile, because I know something they do not. People can create noise, but they cannot change reality. People can spread opinions, but they cannot rewrite truth. People can attempt to interfere, but they cannot break a bond built on sincerity. And that is why, even today, I repeat the same sentence with complete confidence. Let me see who comes between us. Let me see who thinks they can break loyalty. Let me see who thinks they can defeat trust. Let me see who believes they are stronger than commitment. Because some things are protected by more than emotions. They are protected by character. They are protected by integrity. They are protected by unwavering faith. And those things are far stronger than any obstacle standing in the way. The strange thing about life is that people often mistake kindness for weakness. They think that because you remain calm, you have no fire inside you. They think that because you choose peace, you are afraid of conflict. They think that because you stay respectful, you are incapable of standing your ground. I used to let people believe that, not because it was true, but because I never felt the need to explain myself. A lion does not spend time convincing others that it is strong. Its presence speaks for itself. That lesson became more important than ever, because the more I focused on my future, the more certain people became uncomfortable. Success has a strange effect on people. The right people become inspired, the wrong people become threatened, and when threatened, people cannot compete with your discipline. They often try to attack your confidence. I saw it happen again and again. Whispers behind closed doors, conversations filled with jealousy, people predicting my failure before I had even begun, people hoping I would quit, people waiting for me to make a mistake. At first, it bothered me. I am human. No one enjoys being misunderstood. No one enjoys becoming the target of negativity. But eventually I realized something powerful. The opinions of people who do not understand your journey should never determine your direction. They do not know your sacrifices. They do not know your struggles. They do not know the battles you fight when nobody is watching. And because they do not know those things, their opinions cannot define you. That realization changed everything. Instead of proving myself to others, I focused on proving myself to myself. Every morning became a challenge to become stronger than yesterday, to become wiser than yesterday, to become more disciplined than yesterday. Because real competition is not with other people. Real competition is with the person you were yesterday, and every day I was winning that battle. Slowly, quietly, consistently. Meanwhile, the people trying to interfere grew frustrated, because nothing is more frustrating for negative people than watching someone remain focused. They expect reactions, they expect drama, they expect emotional explosions, but when you give them none of those things, they lose their power. And that is exactly what happened. The louder they became, the calmer I became. The more they talked, the harder I worked. The more they doubted, the more determined I became. Eventually I looked at everything and smiled, because I finally understood the obstacle was never them. The obstacle was the fear of letting them affect me. And once that fear disappeared, so did their influence. That day I looked in the mirror and said, let me see who comes between us. Because I am no longer the person I used to be. I have survived doubt. I have survived criticism. I have survived betrayal. And every challenge only made me stronger. So if another challenge wants to appear, it is welcome, because I already know how this story ends. I keep moving forward. There comes a moment in every person's life when they stop asking for permission. Permission to dream, permission to succeed, permission to love, permission to become who they were meant to be. That moment arrived for me, and when it did, everything changed. I stopped worrying about approval. I stopped worrying about acceptance. I stopped worrying about people who never wanted the best for me, because I finally understood something simple. Not everyone is supposed to understand your path. Some people are only meant to watch from a distance, and that is perfectly fine. My responsibility is not to convince everyone. My responsibility is to remain true to myself. That realization gave me freedom. The kind of freedom that comes when you stop carrying unnecessary weight, the weight of expectations, the weight of criticism, the weight of negativity, the weight of fear. For years, I carried those things without realizing it. Then one day I decided to put them down, and suddenly the journey became lighter. My focus became sharper. My confidence became stronger. My vision became clearer. I began seeing opportunities where others saw obstacles. I began seeing lessons where others saw failures. I began seeing growth where others saw difficulties. That mindset changed everything because life always rewards people who refuse to quit, not immediately, not easily, but eventually. Persistence creates results. Discipline creates success. Faith creates strength. And loyalty creates relationships that survive storms. The people who once doubted me still exist. The people who once tried to interfere still exist. The people who once hoped for my failure still exist. But they no longer control anything because I stopped giving them space in my mind. And that was one of the most powerful decisions I ever made. You see, your greatest strength is not money. It is not status. It is not influence. It is not power. Your greatest strength is control over your own mind. Because once you control your thoughts, nobody else can control your future. That is the lesson I wish more people understood. The world will always have critics. It will always have doubters. It will always have people who try to stand in your way, but none of them are stronger than a person who refuses to surrender. And I refuse to surrender, not to fear, not to doubt, not to negativity, not to anyone trying to come between what I value. That chapter of my life taught me something unforgettable. The strongest people are not those who never face opposition. The strongest people are those who keep moving despite opposition. And that is exactly what I intend to do. No matter who appears, no matter who speaks, no matter who tries, I will continue moving toward my purpose. I will continue protecting what matters. I will continue believing in what is real. And with every step forward, my confidence grows stronger. My vision grows clearer. And my determination grows deeper. So today, tomorrow, and every day after that, I will keep repeating the same words. Let me see who comes between us. Because I have already learned the truth. The strongest bond is not the one that never faces challenges. The strongest bond is the one that survives them all. Today, as I look back on everything that happened, I no longer feel anger the way I once did. The anger that once burned inside me has transformed into wisdom. The frustration that once kept me awake at night has transformed into strength. And the challenges that once looked like mountains now look like lessons. For a long time, I thought my battle was against people. I thought my battle was against those who tried to interfere. I thought my battle was against those who spread negativity, but I was wrong.